very much.
So, sir, the play we just watched, INIKPI, what is the myth all about?
Oh, well, I mean, you know, the play is re-narrated by idegu. idegu is a dramatist, one of the, you know, post-war Nigerian dramatists. But he captures on this, you know, legend. I want to say it's a legend because it still exists within popular consciousness, you know, amongst the Igala. And this story, you know, of liberation, right, you know, that really happened a long time ago, almost about 500 years, you know, ago, in which, you know, they went to war, you know, and then somehow they couldn't, you know, they won initially, but, you know, they were asked by the oracle not to do certain things because, you know, in those days, wars were not only fought by secular means, you know, other resources were required and so on. So they violated, you know, some of those regulations and they lost the war. So they came back and the gods demanded, you know, for an ultimate sacrifice, you know, of what was most precious to the king, the Igala, if he wanted to win the war, if he wanted to liberate his people, you know, and then, you know, his daughter was, the very beloved daughter called INIKPI, right, you know, was requested, and faltering initially, but on the long run, right, you know, he submitted, you know, he made the daughter available, and she was buried alive with about 14 slaves. You know that the 14 slaves are never mentioned, you know, for obvious reasons and so on. But if you go to Ida today, right, if you go to the central market, right, you know, there's a statue in her honor exactly where she was buried, right? So it does exist in popular consciousness. What the dramatist has done actually is to re-narrate this, you know, from the point of view of the 20th century, about the need, you know, for sacrifice, about the need for love, about the need actually, you know, for leadership, you know, whether, you know, you are affected personally, you have to be able to step up, you know, and take decisions on behalf of your community, on behalf of your family, on behalf of your nation, you know, and so on and so forth. So it is quite relevant to the situation that we find ourselves in today about, you know, the need actually for love and the need actually for sacrifice, you know, and so on. As you know, we are in a period of depression, we are in a period of all these insurgencies, you know, and so on and so forth. And people just need to make sacrifice, right, you know, to be able to free, you know, their consciousness, you know, from what you might call the sentiments and biases that tend to hold us back, you know, and so on, and eschew violence. On the long run, violence actually does not solve any problem. You understand the point? You have to sit down on the table and negotiate, you know, peace and things like that. I think that's what the play means.
Okay, Prof, your student is celebrating your birthday with this play, and part of it is a celebration of sacrifice that you sacrificed. So what do you have to tell teachers all over the world? Because they are being celebrated today by your student, the sign of sacrifice, and love also for his teacher.
Well, yes, I mean, we're in the age of knowledge, you know, and somehow teachers have always been, even from traditional society, the custodians of knowledge. And without knowledge, you cannot drive, right, you know, new visions. You cannot drive new possibilities and so on and so forth. So the play, you know, especially the way it has been anchored by Lucky Fadam, is to remind us about the need actually to continue to mentor others, you know, to create some kind of quality manpower, right, you know, to drive, you know, us from the kind of travail in which we find ourselves today. I think that's what I find interesting about it.
How do you feel as a teacher?
No, I'm very, very accomplished. There is nothing. That was why a long time ago I resigned from, you know, Radio Nigeria actually to come into the university, right? You know, and that is how it's supposed to be. Okay. Because that was where I found my calling.
Prof, quickly, do you think Nigerian leaders are really sacrificial to the benefit of their people?
No. Well, you can. It's a very difficult thing, you know, knowing how Nigeria is constituted. You understand the point? You know, there is the problem of large-scale corruption. right? And the corruption, it does not allow you to think beyond self. This is the main problem, and that's where Nigerian leaders are trapped. One or two of them are trying to rise above it. I find something visionary, in the leadership, in the current leadership, maybe in the singularity of the president. You understand the point? But there are other, there are others surrounding him that you cannot make the statement about, and so on and so forth. But I think we'll get there. We'll get to the promised land, and so on. Unless we do that, obviously, we cannot free our people from the travails of underdevelopment.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. I'm grateful.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Sir, you just celebrated your teacher with a play, INIKPI, a play that talks about sacrifice and love for one nation. So why the decision to take that play first?
Because such people are rare to find. We all are in the university. We know ourselves. It's about mentorship. It's about genuine mentorship. There are people who mold us. They made us by the grace of God. And we have to acknowledge them. We have to celebrate them while they are alive. To him that much is given, much is expected. I felt like I've not even done enough. This man has been my teacher during my diploma days, my undergraduate days, my master's, and to where I am today. He deserves to be celebrated. And trust me, if there will be much more numbers that you need to ask, they will tell you even more.
Okay, so let's talk about the play. INIKPI in current Nigeria. What relevance does the play carry for us?
Look around. It's a wake-up call. There should be a shift in consciousness. Look back and look through. This play is just like a throwback. It's just to take us back into the days. It's a pre-colonial setting. The locale is unique. Look at the beauty. Look at the costume. Look at the songs. Look at the tradition, but look at the way of life. Look at how easy people can so give themselves for others to live. That's true leadership. Today, you don't find that anywhere. Their children are almost always abroad, and we do the voting, and they do the winning. But this is an Atta whose beloved daughter is requested by the gods for stability of the land where he rules. He has no choice. It's really painful. But he had to give it. And the lady gave herself for it because she understands the nitty-gritty and the crux of the matter. Politically today, we don't find such. If only our political structure today will borrow a lift from this traditional play we just staged, I think we'll have a fresh start.
So are you making a categorical statement that leadership in current day Nigeria is not sacrificial?
There is nothing sacrificial about it. And I can stand anywhere to say it.
Okay, so another one, issue of love. Love between teacher and a student. That's why we're here today. And love for daughter, love for nation.
You
have to give it one.
Sure.
So you are a teacher now.
I am.
Do you think your students will do the same to you?
Oh, they have to. And that's what I'm trying to do. To write my name in the sands of time. And as you can see, it takes sacrifice to package this. But trust me, with this, it's much more than the engagement in the class. Enough of the banking system. Let's do something pragmatic. Sometimes we need to take them, let's give them what will really benefit them in their entirety. And I pray that I'll continue to have such moments to impact among them. It begins with this. This is just one of them. I will try my best. And I pray what you just said will wake me up the more. I pick it up as a challenge. Thank you very much. Thanks. Bless you.